There's a place in California where people came from all over the world in hope of striking it rich. This place still exists, and people still come for the wealth that it has to offer.
It's a treasure hunt. Some people play the lottery, some people go gold penny. You got about the same odds.
Being stuck in the snow for the last 3 weeks, this is amazing. This is off like another level.
Definitely not about the money. It's more about getting lost doing it.
And if you open your eyes, you'll find that it is right in front of you. We are officially in gold country.
Woo, gold!
This is the Mother Lode of California that set the entire gold rush ablaze.
Let's get rich. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's find some gold.
People heard about gold and oh my gosh, it was like, that's heaven on earth. You know, gold is the answer to our troubles. All we need to do is go out and dig it up. Well, easier said than done.
I'm looking for gold. I don't see any right now.
Everybody would like gold, whether it's on your finger or on your neck or in your teeth. And that's the way it is. It's a magnet. It's something to see when you see a little bit of color in your pan. And that'll get you going, one way or another, whether it's looking for gold or just enjoying the scene, the view, the smell, the blue skies. And everything's green and everything's popping out with the flowers, and you gotta love it all. Everybody wants $1 million in gold, but I want the $1 million setting.
Join Refresh Quest on this redefining look, exploring the Mother Lode region of California. Refresh Quest is the search for refreshing travel experiences that aim to uplift and inspire while having a lot of fun along the way. Are you ready to refresh? Then let's go. With a team of like-minded friends, Refresh Quest invites you along the journey as we explore beautiful and unique destinations. Meet passionate individuals and gain empowering knowledge that dares to welcome new realities and refreshing possibilities. Adventuring never felt so good. I'm your host, Jeremy Maupin, and this is Refresh Quest. There are perhaps few places on this planet in recent history that are more iconic than the western slope of the Sierra Nevada mountains in California, specifically the Mother Lode region. The gold rush of 1849 redefined and radically transformed California, the United States, and the world, setting a blaze in the hearts of men with one simple phrase, "Eureka, I found it." For surely there was gold in them thar hills, and still is. On this picture-perfect spring day, Refresh Quest sets out on a journey, recounting the footsteps of the past, embracing the present, and dreaming of a brighter future for this beautiful, rich, and diverse landscape. We are officially in gold country.
Woo, gold!
This is the Mother Lode of California that set the entire gold rush ablaze.
Let's get rich. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's find some gold. It was only fitting to begin our journey where it all began, Coloma, California. Here we found artifacts displaying a brief idea of what it must have felt like that long ago.
This is where it all started. Boom. What a trip being right here at the site of the first gold discovery in California.
Yep.
They were building this mill as a lumber mill for John Sutter, and all of a sudden, they find gold in the river, in the American River right behind me. And that set off an absolute firestorm of events where everyone here in the mill stopped working and everyone went into the river to look for beautiful, shiny gold.
This day, some kind of metal was found in the tail race that looks like gold. Henry W. Beigler, 1848. This was no fool's gold. It was, in fact, the precious yellow metal that has always allured man.
We are at the American River here in Coloma, and right near this location, James Marshall found specks of gold right here on the banks, which started the entire gold rush of California. I'm looking for gold. I don't see any right now.
But back in 1848, it was a much different story. Jonathan and I proceeded south on State Highway 49, appropriately named the Golden Chain Highway, passing through many historic mining communities. It is beautiful in here.
It really is.
Driving along Highway 49 is just so incredibly scenic. Were you not impressed as we came down?
Oh, it's
across
beautiful. Beautiful, especially with the sun hitting it.
Yeah.
Ah, it's amazing. You know what I find fascinating is that as we're traveling along Highway 49, every town that we're passing through has something related to do with gold.
Yeah.
No matter where I look, gold is everywhere.
It goes to show you how big of an impact the gold rush had on this area.
Exactly. I totally feel that.
One of these impacts was felt at the end of a rope in the now named Placerville, California, where 5 men were hanged on the same day to the same tree for robbery and murder of fellow gold miners. So the gold rush hit, people come from all over the world to California to try their luck at gold. There was an expression that was used back in that day, a bigger than life expression. It was called seeing the elephant. It was an expression that was used to engage in or see something bigger than life. And what's bigger than life than finding gold or gold hunting? You know, or trying your luck to become rich.
Yeah.
And searching for gold. Yeah.
Cool.
Hopefully we're going to see our elephant on this trip.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Jonathan, do you like elephants?
Who doesn't like elephants?
I don't know. And if you don't like elephants, you shouldn't be around me and you.
No, definitely not.
You're not our type of people.
Do you think we will be able to sit on one?
An actual elephant?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that. James Marshall was the first man to get a glimpse of the elephant, but happened to be on the wrong side of history. Not long after the failure of the sawmill, which he was helping build for John Sutter, he left Coloma and tried his hand at farming. He eventually died penniless in 1885. John Sutter was the second man to get a glimpse of that very same elephant, but also was on the wrong side of history. As Sutter's mill came to an end, he also fell into debt, but eventually rose to some prominence as a major general for the California National Guard. State Route 49 passes through many historic towns and communities, following the gold route that tens of thousands of hopeful 49ers from all over the world came to fulfill their dreams and destiny. As Jonathan and I continued our golden adventure, we stopped off where we could to learn about the history, the lore, and the past lives of long ago. Now passing through San Andreas, California, we stopped off at one great place to learn about some of this history, the San Andreas Calaveras County Museum, located on Main Street. Once inside, you'll find an array of local artifacts and history, dating from the native Miwok people to the early pioneers. Art from Spanish missions. And of course, the gold rush of 1849. Feel free to step inside the old courthouse where many important trials had taken place, and even learn about the misfortune of one judge who ended it all right in the place where you stand. Down the spiral staircase and out into the courtyard, you'll find the museum's most popular attraction, the Old Jail. Built in 1867, these lime green walls housed many thieves, thugs, and bandits in his day. But none more famous and notorious than the stagecoach outlaw, Black Bart. Down this spooky hallway and cell is where he was held while being tried and convicted before the state's prison bars at San Quentin clang shut. Charles E. Bowles, also known as the Gentleman Bandit, shown for his politeness to passengers as he held up a Wells Fargo stagecoach at the end of a 12-gauge shotgun. He was also known as the Poet Outlaw, leaving behind a few verses of his latest work as he made off with the bounty. After serving 4 years in San Quentin, he was released and then abruptly and mysteriously vanished from history. A few other notable figures tethered to this time period: George Hearst, who also tried his hand at placer mining, eventually investing and gaining his fortune from silver ore mines in the state of Nevada. Few people may know that Mark Twain also caught the fever and was interested in prospecting for silver and gold, and only got into writing because he couldn't make a living at it. But I think it would be fair to say his talents were far better off with the pen instead at the end of a shovel. Luzina Stanley Wilson was a gold rush entrepreneur who traveled all the way from Missouri with her husband and 2 children. At that time, she was one of very few women in the area. Luzina quickly found fortune as a cook, hotel, and landowner. And then there's the 18th President of the United States, Ulysses S. Grant, making his journey through the gold rush area in 1852. Such an interesting and fascinating history. Back in good old 2023, just north of San Andreas, we pulled off alongside the road to a small but popular creek to witness just how far this phenomenon of the past has come. Seeing all of these people in the middle of the creek with buckets, shovels, pans, begs the question, what's going on?
We're looking for gold and being out in nature and just enjoying a 75-degree day today. I found a lot of garnets here too, so it's not just about the gold. There's lots of other minerals and stuff in the ground that are fun to collect. I'm kind of a geology nut. Being stuck in the snow for the last 3 weeks, this is amazing. This is off like another level.
We're pretty new, for one thing, so we're in a learning process right now. All of the gold that we're getting here is very, very small. A pinhead flake would be a pretty good size piece. So I'm running it through 2 sets of screens. The first one, the blue one here, is about 1/2 inch holes in it, and nothing bigger will go through. And gold being the heaviest thing in the pan, it's always going to fall to the bottom. So we know there's no gold in there, probably no gold stuck to the rocks, okay? This one here is about 1/4 inch, but this too, probably we don't have any gold that big, although we do take a minute and kind of look through it. Refine this down to something like that there, that we're running through the sluice. Hopefully all of the gold that we found is in there, hopefully.
Hi, I'm Phyllis.
I'm Steve.
And we live over in Valley Springs, and we come out here to Latimer Gulch on our way to San Andreas and do a little gold panning. You just dig a hole and shake a pan and look at all the beautiful wildflowers and the sunshine today, blue sky, Easter Sunday.
It's a treasure hunt. Some people play the lottery, some people go gold panning. You got about the same odds. You're not gonna get rich, but it's a good excuse to get outside.
Watch the end of this right now. You want to make sure you don't get anything big equipment in here.
We caught up with one modern-day recreational gold prospector who's been doing this most of his life.
See if I can fall in.
This guy is a real pro, and not only looks the part, but has also found his fair share of gold in his day. This is someone, when it comes to finding gold, knows this land like the back of his hand. This is Gary Bailey, and if there's one guy that would know where gold is hiding, it would be him. We had the good fortune to sit down with Gary and pick his mind about this golden subject.
I'm Gary Eric Bailey, and we're on a tributary of the Calaveras River. This is one that has some gold in it, not a lot, but people come here in recreational mine with a pan and sluice box if the water is enough to do it with, and they do get gold.
Let's just talk really quickly about how it all started.
Well, it all started at Marshall's mill he had, and he found that gold in the Middle Fork of the American. People heard about gold, and oh my gosh, it was like, that's heaven on earth. You know, gold is the answer to our troubles. All we need to do is go out and dig it up. Well, easier said than done, even now. But I think gold was the magic word. It's been that way since Roman times and earlier. You know, you look at Tutankhamun's. They found him with solid gold everything. Everything was made out of gold. Chairs, masks, coffins, and that'll get you going. You know, seeing something solid gold, you can't even pick it up, it's so heavy.
Yeah, wow.
Everybody had gold, you know, and everybody would like gold, whether it's on your finger or on your neck or in your teeth. Everybody wants it, you know, and that's the way it is. It's a magnet.
Have you ever heard of the expression, seeing the elephant? What does that mean?
Yeah, that was written a lot in books and people talking about it. It was basically looking at these gold mining areas and finding these areas where the gold supposedly is. And they got on seeing the elephant. Those are the mining areas that were the hot at the time. Believe it or not, if you were a miner and found a hot spot, a place where a lot of gold was, your duty was to tell people about it. It wasn't be quiet about it and zip up. Your duty was to tell people, look, go over this mountain and find that gold, and we'll all be rich. That's the way it was.
Is there one thing that you wish people knew that are learning gold panning now or coming out to places like this that you would give them a one thing of advice that might help them along their journey?
You can't give up the first time out, and people do that. It's like anything in life, a new sort of lifestyle of hobby. Because you don't find a pocket full of gold, keep at it. Don't give up. Like bicycle riding or anything else, you know, you're either going to like it or not. You know, but it's something to see when you see a little bit of color in your pan. You'll see the elephant, all right? The elephant gets you started.
Gary took the time to give us a first-hand lesson on a few basics of recreational gold panning to give us a better understanding of what it's like. And so we jumped in, not afraid to get wet, as so many gold dreamers had done before us.
Sieve, small pan, and green. There. You try to read the river, especially the curves. This curve, if you look at it, is curving off to the left. And the gold will drop out on the left-hand side, on the dry side of this riverbed. And the right side, it forces it all this way, and the gold keeps on going. But yeah, you try to read the river. Once you found a spot that looks good, generally gold will hide right in these tree roots, even this grass root here. That's a good spot to start because in high water, it pushes that gold all out to the right and left of the river, high and dry. And then you basically take a shovelful of this, put it in your sieve. You got to sink it under the water to get it to get wet enough so you can do this, okay? Shake it enough if it's deep enough. And basically what you have is a lot of rocks you don't need. Make sure there's not a gold nugget that size, throwing it away. Dump it out, and you're starting already with pretty fine sand and maybe gold, so you don't have to deal with all those rocks. So you can get it down to panning, and that's the hardest part is getting it panned out so you get all the blonde light sand out and magnetite. You can see it in there, it's black pretty much. And gold, if there's any, it'll be in their area of the pan here. So you keep cleaning it, checking it, throw out a little bit at a time. And you keep doing that until you get it down to a point where you want to just take your material and you just take a little bit of water and start swishing it around. And pretty soon, depending on how much gold you're finding, you'll see it on top and on the corners of your pan easily. Can't give up because you don't see any gold. No gold, not this time.
While trying to sift through the process in my mind, Gary gave me 3 simple words so I wouldn't forget.
It's all about shake, rattle, and roll. And getting it down to where you'll start seeing gold, you'll see it.
Gold panning is definitely a lot of work, but don't give up. That gold nugget you seek could be in the next pan, or 2, or 100.
This ain't bad. See these pieces here? That's gold, that's gold, that's gold. That bigger piece, that's gold. That's the real deal.
Gary, how long have you been coming to places like this, in this area, and panning and searching for gold?
Oh, at least 30 years, on and off. I don't come here that often anymore, but it's always fun to find a little bit of color in your pan. That's what it's called, color. And it gets you excited enough to want to come back again and maybe get lucky and find a pinhead size or even match head size piece of gold.
What's the biggest piece of gold you found in this area, in the Mother Lode area?
Well, up to a ½ an ounce, a little over. I call it pennyweights because you can weigh gold in pennyweights, grams, grains, but 480 grains in my way of weighing gold is an ounce. And 14 pennyweight is a pretty good sized piece of gold. You wouldn't want it any bigger hanging around your neck.
Right. Now, have you kept some of this stuff along your journey?
You know, mostly a little bit of it. Most of the time you pay for your gas, food, and it's a lot of work. Not just getting the gold, but just getting it cleaned up, sellable, to look for somebody to buy it. You know, most people don't realize it, and I have for years and years. It's wonderful to find the gold, but it's even better to be in the outdoors, breathing fresh air and enjoying this $1 million setting. That's what it all comes out to. And everything's green and everything's popping out with the flowers, and you gotta love it all. Everybody wants $1 million in gold, but I want the $1 million setting. And I've been in it most of my life, so I'm still doing it. I'm pretty older. Let's put it that way, I'm older. One way or another, whether it's looking for gold or just enjoying the scene, the view, the smells, the blue skies, and the warmth of Mother Earth, you know, that's it.
Gary had me at $1 million setting. And so with only a few hours left of sunlight, I decided to spend the rest of the day taking a walk, surrounding myself with riches beyond what may or may not lie at the bottom of a riverbed. And as I walked this spring path, the same path as many 1849ers from long ago, a few questions came to my mind that I would have liked to ask. Did you give yourself enough time to stop and smell the flowers? Did you happen to sit on a warm rock, the same one that I had sat, warming my face in the sun? While walking barefoot and carefree on the new green spring grass, did you happen to look up at the mighty oak to see its twisted limbs reaching out to the sky in every direction, and then following them back down to the earth, discovering its most delicate details? Did you walk along the banks of a river, not to find gold, but to find yourself, as I am doing now? Did you notice how the light from the late afternoon sun almost glows inside the petals of the poppies along the tracks? Or the gopher snake lying ever so still on the rocks, patiently waiting for the coast to be clear? following the river upstream, did you take a closer look to study the moss-covered rocks on the other side and to think of all the curiosities they must keep? Did you try to understand the bigger picture and all that it could be? Did you feel what I am feeling walking along this path? Because if you did, you would have realized, as I do now, yes, there is still gold in them thar hills, but you don't have to break your back looking for it, because it's all around you.